Now I request Miss Pinky ma'am to kindly come forward to give away the lamps lighted to the students.
It's the time that their hearts start pounding as they are taking their oath by pledging and for the humanity to do good and to serve the needy. I request the students to kindly keep standing in their places as there will be pledge of the night angle. I humbly request our Vice Principal, College and School of Nursing, Mrs. Shelia White ma'am, to kindly come forward and administer the pledge to the students.
First years, please stretch your hand. I solemnly pledge myself before God and this assembly to practice my profession faithfully. I will not take or knowingly administer any harmful drug. I will do all in my power to elevate the standards of my profession and will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping and all my family affairs coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling with loyalty. I will devote myself to the welfare of those committed to my care.
Thank you, ma'am. Now the freshers will sing a song of praise.
It is indeed a symbolic ceremony witnessed by all of us here. Especially when we see the lighted candles, it reminds us about the lady with the lamp, the Florence Nightingale, her service and dedication to the needy and disabled. This lighted lamp is indeed the symbol of dedication, care and devotion to the sick and injured. We wish them all the very best. Abide by the pledge taken tonight. We are very much delighted to have Mr. Sambat Raj sir, Chairman of Navneedham College of Nursing and Cooperative BBMP. We welcome you, sir. And we are very much delighted to have Mrs. Navida Banu, Chairman, Sophia College of Nursing, Bangalore. We welcome you, ma'am.
Now I request the students to replace their lamps.